Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Startup Change Leaders regular meeting. We are today going to discuss how to create a perfect pitch deck. So if we look at the startup journey for all the entrepreneurs, they have a huge, role to play when they actually get into. Ajish, are you getting the sound correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There's no lag or some. Yeah. Okay.
No,
All
no,
right.
no.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are basically going to be talking about the creation of a pitch deck. And when we go to the investors, and I keep on discussing with a lot of entrepreneurs, they are always struggling with the fact that what is the expectation of investors from us for the pitch deck, no? So they basically keep on asking about the what all we should include in the pitch deck, what are the areas where we need to be careful about, and what is the the way they should actually manage their pitch, no? So frankly speaking, this is not a very simple journey. We have to actually come up to the expectation of the investors, and we have to because normally typically the calls are for 15 to 30 minutes maximum. So the investor is trying to get the feel of the entire journey or presentation of the startup details in those 15 minutes. So it is very important that your pitch should be very precise, very concise, very to the point, and also a very perfect in the way that you should actually not have the too many because if you have too many aberrations, then there will be a challenge always in how to come up to the expectation of the investors. So if we look at what is our just 1 minute. Some trouble with the PPT movement. Just a minute. Okay. So if we look at what is the pitch deck and how do you, need to, what are the things you need to add in it? What are the requirements for the pitch deck? Of course, potential investors are looking forward to overview of your business plan, products, services, and growth tractions. Of course, how you have your startup idea, what are the ways of financing, what is the uh, amount you need basically for the from the investors. So you always have a sense and you can always explain. And the investors are also very much looking into the fact that, okay, what is your exact requirement, what are you looking at, and how you are going to with the funds or seed fund or series A fund, whatever you are pitching for, what is your utilization of that fund. And the funds are, of course, coming from some external sources. First, you start with your friends and family, and then, of course, you need to communicate your idea to the potential financiers and investors. And you have to get them excited about the business. And, you need to show the MVP. You have to justify why you need this money. And also, for all this to be in a very precise way to explain this to the investors, you need a pitch deck. Now, we'll be discussing today what are the main features a pitch deck should have, what is the most important aspect of a pitch deck, and how we should make sure that the pitch deck is perfectly managed, and how we are going to have the particular aspects covered in the pitch deck, and what is our uh, the perfect plan which we should make, how many slides it should have, and what all we need to be careful about. Now, one, of course, for getting funding, it is a multi-step process, and a good and informative pitch deck is the first step. So you want to present to investor the idea which intrigues them and gets them engaged with you. No, because the most important aspect is the engagement. Because if you are going to the investors and you are not able to engage them with you, then there will be a disconnect. And in those 15 minutes, you need to actually come out with a very perfect plan of yours. You need to actually give them a view that, okay, you will be able to get 3x return, 5x return after you go through this journey. And what all we need to what is the offering by the startup, what is the team, what are the basic ingredients which this startup is talking about, and how we are going to capture the market. So all this you have to pack in those 15 slides, and then you need to create a compelling story about your business. So this is very, very important. The apart from the quality of the presentation, I think the most important aspect is the quality of you are actually going to engage and create a compelling idea embedded in the minds of the investors, and they should actually appreciate what you are trying to convey to them. So this is why the pitch deck presentation has to be a very, very comprehensive one. And you must have a implementation of best practices. So there are three keys to the powerful pitch deck. One It should be clear and simple. When we say clear, that means your project, your idea, what we are trying to convey should be very, very crisp and very, very clear. And it should be in a simple language, because the investors sometimes they know the jargons, but it is not good to use the jargons too much. You need to actually, you may be knowing short forms of many things, and you may think that, oh, investor community knows it, but maybe the person on the other side is not so very clear about those jargons. So it is always better to use simple language, simple words, and also you need to have compelling uh, ideas, and you need to be engaging the people who are looking at your presentation. And of course, it should be easy to act on. So it's not that we should keep a very uh, you know the action has to be visible. The action points which we are talking about should be easy to look at. And I think we should make a pitch in such a way that we are conveying our idea in a perfect way, in a perfect manner. So that is what I think. If you look at the this slide, what all should be included, I think we have shown it in a very precise way, that one, your pitch presentation should tell people who you are and why you are here, because that's the most important thing. And out of my experience with a lot of investor calls, I tell you that people are more interested in the team. People are more interested who is the person behind the show. Uh, they have their own set of benchmarks. Some investors have a tendency to look at, okay, how young the team is, what kind of energy level they have, what kind of vision they have, what is their clarity of thought on the business they are talking about. And then they want to present a clear and concise solution which the investors can easily follow. Whether your solution is perfect, whether your solution is very clear. uh, you know, uh, I was talking to some investor who is in business, his own business, and he is now these days started investing in the startups. And I was asking him, when you look at the startup, what is the main thing you are looking at? He says, when I look at the tech startups, um, sometimes I'm not able to understand the concept itself. No, so so I desist to get involved in a project where I am myself not very clear about the uh, technology involved or tech involved. Uh, and there are a couple of other investors who are only putting their money in innovative startups or tech startups. So it is purely all investors have a different set of expectation of where they are going to put the money. And so you must have a very concise and a very clear solution which investor can easily follow. They can easily understand what are you talking about, what solution you are offering. And you must show off the actual product or service your business is selling, because it is not that we are just arbitrarily talking about that, oh, we are going to have this product, or we are going to have this kind of a service. This is how the app is going to work. If you have something to already talk about, so ideally the MVP should be there in place, and you must have that very clearly coming up to the investor. And before that, number two, of course, is the problem statement. Now, you must have identify, 2 or 3 problems that your product will tackle, because that is the key for uh, uh, creating your pitch or creating your engaging pitch to the investors. Because if you are not able to dwell on your problem statement effectively, the whole story will not be perfectly sinking. So you need to have your problem statement, then solution, then your market size and opportunity. Because that again, as we say, what is your TAM, which is total addressable market size. You should be very clear about your TAM. You should also know the jargons, because sometimes these investors, they will simply ask you, what is your TAM? So if you are stumped and you are not aware what TAM is all about, then you are gone. No, so you must actually do your homework. You must study the market. You must identify the market size and the opportunity in measurable numbers, and you should be able to articulate well what is your TAM, what is your addressable market size, and how much of that market you are expecting to capture. And if you capture even say 1% of the market, then also your turnover will be this much. And that will create your very compelling reason for making the investor look at your project in a very serious way. And you actually try and show off your product, as I mentioned. And then traction, no, the focus on the growth, major goals, and next steps of your business. Normally, the investors are looking at a 5-year kind of a plan. You should be ready with your 5-year numbers. You may include those numbers in your projections or not. That is again a very debatable issue. Some people say that you should actually share your 5-year projections, and some are even sharing 3-year projections, but projections are definitely required. uh, and what are the financial results? So how much money you are burning, how much revenue numbers you are expecting to achieve. All that has to be brought into the pitch, and you should ideally give a very clear financial picture to your investors, and that is, I think, a very critical part of it. So you must focus on growth and major goals. And of course, as I mentioned, the team is the main thing. So introduce your core team members. Um, that is who are the people who are behind the show, who are going to run this whole business, and how you are going to take this forward. So that is again something you must you know be very clear about. And also you must be aware about the competition, and you must talk about the competition. So when you are actually, you must define your competition, and explain how you are different from your competition. So this is again a very important aspect, that the clarity about who are your competitors is very much required. And then of course show that you have financial knowledge, and you can reach your goals. That is also a very important aspect which you should always have. And of course, the investment and use of funds. So you need to tell investors what you need from them and why. Because this why is again very important, because you must justify to the investors that the fund you are asking for, what is the requirement for that, and why you need this fund. That again, I think you need to be very clear about. Now let us look at these 10 aspects. One, of course, introduction. So most crucial side is you will give a first impression to the investor. It has to tell people who you are, why you are there, and it can be used to communicate the value proposition of your business. Try to articulate in a single phrase or a catchy line, we make happy meal for adults. So that conveys the entire uh, mm, business of yours. No? So if suppose it's a product which is into giving a happy meal, or you are coming up with that kind of a startup, so it conveys the entire crux of the startup. So that is what I think your introduction slide should be all about. And you should be very clear, very concise, and very structured. Then comes the problem statement. And when you are covering the problem statement, you should be explaining the gap you are filling in the market. And, this needs to be, a very painful problem which people can relate to. And investor would not have issue with understanding, what are we talking about. And also we will have basically, a note for the investors to get involved in your venture. And because of any of the following things, and that can be that they have experienced the same problem in the past, so they can actually relate to the problem. They can understand. So for example, when maybe have you heard about this new website called InDrive, or a app called InDrive? Now this InDrive is basically about that in Ola and Uber and other of course apps, the price at which you are going to get is basically given by the app, and it is non-negotiable. No, so the app will give you, suppose from here you have to go to Connaught Place in Delhi, from Noida, say for example. So you are going to get a price, no, and you have to follow that. But in InDrive, you are going to get multiple options of pricing. No, so the driver is going to quote the price, and you can choose. So these guys, they saw a problem statement that people are actually always not sure who's charging more. So sometimes they keep on switching between Ola, Uber, and all that stuff. And sometimes the AI also plays the role. If you are checking too much, then they sometimes increase the price. AI automatically increase the price. So now InDrive is giving you option that you can choose the price. Multiple driver will quote their pricing, and you can actually choose to whom to go with. So that's the kind of scenario they have built in, and they are getting a lot of success because they saw that there is a problem, and they have solved that problem, and because of that, they are getting traction in their startup. So this is where I think this is just one example I gave you. So the effective study of the problem statement and how we are solving that problem is the key to success of the startup. So and of course there has to be clear sense of ROI down the line, and of course give their professional expertise, because you, for example, you are in a healthcare startup. So if you have that kind of expertise. You are a doctor or someone who can look at that problem solving in a perfect way. So that will add value to your startup. Now, what kind of solution you are offering? So this also has to be clearly brought out in the pitch deck. Now, the solution need to be very clear, concise, especially if you are a tech startup. You need a scalable solution, and the capability of the system to increase the total output, and when the resources are added, and of course, investor is looking at what the company can invest in order to have the much faster movement. And of course, your solution should also outline why it makes sense. And timing is a very key element in the business. So you need to have a very clear lot of clarity as to why it makes sense. And you must know that you are at the right time for coming up with this solution. And for example, with a lot of EV ventures, people were, or investors were also telling them that maybe you are a little too early for this EV venture. And so, I have been advising a startup which was into EV business, and uh, they were actually into a different kind of support for charging your vehicle. So, now a lot of EV delivery companies are becoming successful. So it is really very important to see whether your timing is correct or not, what time you are getting into the business, and uh, you know you must actually approach the investors with the right solutions. And of course, the market size will determine whether you are getting funding or not. If you are operating in a small market, investor might end that the potential ROI is too small, or they may not like to fund you. So because they may find it too risky. So your market size has to be big enough where you are actually getting into a particular area. And also, you must be very clear about the what are the sources from which you have done this research. And you must have a very solid market slide with graph about the past market growth and future potential market growth. My experience is graphs are always better because they give you a view of the way things are moving, and it's a pictorial representation of the facts, so it is very easy to understand. So for example, we have to explain the healthcare market, and how much the healthcare market size is. So if we have a graph of the healthcare market and what is the market size, uh, people will understand, and everybody knows that the size of the market is increasing, and there is more and more awareness about the healthcare business. People are also now understanding that healthcare is the most important thing for them. So they are willing to put in their money, they are willing to put their energy, and healthcare has become something which everybody is looking upon. So there are a lot of healthcare startups which have come up with the solutions. And another area which is emerging is the old age uh, homes for people, because if you look at the data, the old age population is increasing. Now, with this increase in the numbers of old age people, the potential for serving these old age people is also growing. So there is a requirement. So you need to have all this very much clear and added in your market slide, and your past market and future growth potential should be clearly brought out for that, so that investors can easily see what is the potential of the product and what is the startup going to offer in that. And of course, if it is a physical product, you add professional photos of your product from different angles. And of course, you can use 3D views and all, and highlight the material and feature of your product. And if your product is an app, online tool, consider adding screenshots that show most unique features, and can also have a small demo video to take things further. And that video should not be more than 2 minutes. It's not that people have a lot of time to look at your explanation and videos. So you need to be very clear how we have to, plan this, because at the end of the day, the product which you are trying to show to people, you should be very clear how that product is going to be useful for the people and for the investors. So and how that product market is going to bring a lot of results to them. So I take a break and stop here for the questions, whatever we discussed so far, and then maybe we can continue with our rest of the points, what we should have in the pitch deck. Ajish, any points so far, whatever we have discussed?
Yeah. Could you please tell some info about traction?
Yeah. Sorry.
Traction. Hello.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like? I show a product, and how can I explain something? What is the traction? Like, could you please give some example? Rajiji, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes.
Yeah. Could you please give examples of traction?
Yes. So the traction, basically, Ajish, for example, if you have tested your product in the market, as to how that product has performed, how that product has been doing, what is the how your MVP has performed, how you got the result in the market. Basically, suppose you launched a product, maybe you the initial 4 months, what is the performance of that product so far, how many suppose it's an app, how many users have already signed in. So that's all included in the traction. What is your experience so far, so that you can show to them that how your product is being welcomed in the market.
Yeah. So is it in terms of revenue? Like, I got like 100 customers, and this was my initial in the 4 months. This was my initial revenue. Can be like that also?
It can be revenue. It can be the number of users you have been able to bring in.
Yeah.
Yes. For example, you have launched your product, and immediately you got maybe 1 lakh people coming and watching and observing. Even if it is number of views to your visitors to your website, that also shows the traction. Maybe they have not signed up, but they visited, so that means the curiosity of the product is there. So So that is also attraction, no?
Yeah, yeah. So to sum up, we just need to give an introduction, then the team, then the product, then the traction, market, and the market size. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah, show you that slide back. I think you are talking about this one, right? Okay. So basically, this should be our rundown. First is introduction. Second, we should come up with a problem statement so that the storyline is very clear. No. So so after you have discussed the problem, then come to solution. And once you have the solution being discussed, then come to the market size and the opportunity. So once person has already understood what is the problem, what are the solutions being offered, then you should talk about the market size and opportunity, then your product, then the traction. That is how you are going to focus on the major goals and next steps, and then the team, then competition, then financials, and then you kind of sum it up with the investment and use of funds.
yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Biswajit, you wanted to say something.
Hi, Rajiv. For a tech-based platform, tech-based marketplace platform.
Yeah.
Do you think in the initial 4 months, 2000 listing organically is a good traction to define as such?
Mhm.
Should I repeat my question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. For example, I have a tech-based marketplace platform, right?
Okay.
And in the initial 4 months, I receive around 2000 listings of the product in my platform
Mhm.
organically. So, do you think this is the traction to be defined by investors?
Right. Of course. So 2000 people have already shown interest in your product organically without even you're taking effort. So that means if you scale up, or you start doing advertising, or you start taking efforts, definitely this 2000 will become 2 lakh. No. So this point also should come up in your presentation, that 2000 are organically there. No.
Okay.
So I think that will be more effective way or a tool to explain to the investors that we are getting good traction.
And if that 2000 happens to be done by the help of interns and other marketing forces or sales forces.
Whatever.
Okay. So what you mean to say is, if I have a 2000, maybe around 500 to 600 accounts open in my platform, and around 2000 to 3000 listing of products in my platform, it's a good way to show as a fraction to my investors. Correct?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rajiv.
Absolutely. So Sanjay, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to take this point a bit forward.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get 2000 traction or whatever, 1000, but they are basically all free. We have not charged. App has so far not charged them any money.
Mhm.
So, will it be also advisable that we have some tractions based on actual payment we receive from these people?
No, see, traction, the way you are, one is, okay, you have already been able to do business and you have already been able to generate revenue out of it, no? So that may not be the point, revenue you may or may not be receiving, right? Uh, it is basically we are kind of focusing on how many people are interested in our product, how many people are keen on our product, no? So that itself is good enough for traction for us to prove that we are getting people interested in our product, and the problem statement which we are talking about is actually a problem statement. No, we are not going to say that we are talking about something abstract. No, it is something which is actually unique, or something we are offering, and we are definitely, if these many people have already come in, that means people are looking at it as a problem, and that's a kind of a validation that okay, in future maybe these 2000 may become 2 lakh or something like that. So revenue number is, of course, it is also part of the showing of traction, but it is not essentially that revenue. Revenue may start coming in, but to establish that it is actually a problem and people are, facing this issue and we are solving this issue, that itself is a win for you.
Okay. So you mean to say we can make a pitch to the investors even with zero revenue, but with tractions?
People are making it, and but the VC funds and investors sometimes have benchmark that they are not looking at companies which have less than 3 years of run, or they have 3-year track record. So there are different sets of people, but there are angel investors, there are seed investors who are willing to look at the projects which are not having any revenue or zero revenue also.
Great.
So-
Thanks for this
Yeah.
clarification.
So you should know whom to approach, and you should know how to approach. No. So
Yeah,
that's where.
we'll take your expertise help. in this.
Yeah. That is where people like us, we because of our experience and day in day out we are doing this.
Mhm.
We know that who's the right person to approach, and where we should knock our doors. No?
Sure. Thanks.
Right. So coming back, Ajish, to your point, traction, it should show what is your month-and-month growth, and also your revenue and metrics, and you should include some kind of a growth chart, like you have a hockey stick growth chart, or investor want to see that okay, this company is going to grow like this. So that always kind of bring more confidence into your project, and people look at it that okay, you are going to have this kind of clarity in your business. And then comes the most important aspect of team. The team, of course, I often say to my people whom I'm advising on the startup side, that people are not investing their money on the company. They are investing on the team, because at the end of the day, it is the team which is going to deliver. So they always want to see how these people are, how are their what are their background, what is their level of understanding of the subject they are talking about. Yes, Biswajit. Yeah, we can, please.
Rajiv, in our startup, we are 3 co-founders. along with a bunch of interns, then we also have a marketing agency to support our all digital marketing campaigns.
Right, right.
Now, in this context, who is my team?
Your team is your co-founders and the people who are working directly with you. And yeah,
Even the contractor, the digital marketing agency who are working with us.
actually, you can't say that because if you have outsourced that work, that may not be counted as a team. But when you are saying team, I think all the three co-founders will be the key team players. They don't want to see interns and, of course, who are the people who are working down the line. But the drivers of the business, the people who are going to drive the business, who are they? That is what I mean to say. That is why it is very clearly brought out here, core team members. So who are your core team members? That is the team.
Thanks, Ajay.
Yeah. And, you must have their titles, their mission, vision. I think that also, and sometimes it makes sense even adding their LinkedIn profiles so that people can see for themselves who are the core team members, what is their background, and if they want to see more detail about it, they can research about it later. So that is a good idea to include their LinkedIn profiles if they have really excellent profiles. And then, of course, competition, because at the end of the day, you have to justify who is my competition. So a diagram is a good idea to show the investors what the competitors are doing and who are the people who are executing in that space. Sometimes a chart is made, okay, vis-a-vis competition, where are we standing on various parameters? So that is also something can give the investor a visual effect. And sometime a grid kind of a thing is made. Okay, competition doesn't have this, we have this. Competition has this, but we don't have it. Normally, people show that, oh, I have it, I have everything, but competition doesn't have. As you see when you are comparing, suppose you are buying a car, you see a chart kind of a thing. No, so similarly, I think it will be a good idea to bring what you will be having and the competition doesn't have, so that it can be clearly brought out to create that differentiating factor, and people are clear what are we talking about. And then, of course, the financials, as I mentioned, very, very important part of it. It must also contain the projected growths of the company for the next 3 to 5 years and details about your business model and financing. So, because at the end of the day, it is all about money. People are investing in your company from the perspective that, okay, how much return they can make. So that clarity will come once you actually, come up with investment and use of funds. On this, you want to be very strategic on investment and use of funds. So do not put a specific amount that you are raising. Suppose you want to raise 5 million, you should be putting a range between 3 to 5 million, so that depending on the investor appetite, you are able to negotiate and get that money. Of course, some people, they don't even, so they make a presentation and then talk about the, according to the appetite of the investor, they talk about, okay, how much money you can invest, and okay, and some people have a very clear vision that, oh, I will not accept less than 1 million from any investor, because at the end of the day, when investors will come in, they will ask you questions. They will ask you on the performance, what are you doing, and what is your return you are going to give, what kind of exit you can offer me. So all this you need to justify, and so investment and use of fund slide is a very, very important slide where all this should be brought out. And the contact information is also very important. So in the pitch, the last part should be the contact information. And if you have a large following on the social media, include the links that will give a social proof the interested investors may look up to you and reach out to people for asking for references. So that'll be easy for them to do the check, background check. So I think when you come in the investing space, or when you come as a founder in front of the investors, you have to be very prepared about your market reputation. So let's quickly look at the do's and do nots. Do's are use bullet points on slides, keep it short and crisp. Do include your contact details, do tell a story and keep on engaging while presenting, and do elaborate and minimize as you see fit, because basically you don't want to overemphasize on things and also not underemphasize. So be very crisp and sharp in your presentation. Don't stuff your slides with a lot of text. Don't add too many team members because your team should look very focused, very Biswajit, this answers your question that all key players need to be brought in, and not all of them. Don't focus only on the stats. You must have a proper storytelling. That's very important. And don't just read from the slides. So this is again a very important tip on presentation, that you should be more expressive. You should be more clear what you are talking about. And I think that will be a perfect pitch. So in all, 15 minutes means 15 slides, not more than that, because investors in those pitches, they don't have time. So you need to create that compelling pitch in that 15-minute presentation and minimum slides. And at the most, if you have to add small video, that should not be more than 2 minutes. So that's what I think my recommendation is on this subject. Any questions?
Yeah, like how can we know that this market, like for example, if I'm constructing a house, how will I know like the housing market? How true is that data which I get it from different sources? Could you throw some light on it?
Yeah. So for example, you have given this construction. So there may be there is a CII or some other agency must be having a market data about how big is the construction industry in India. There must be some association of construction guys which will be issuing from time to time about the market size data, no? And also the different agencies have some statistical data which are issued, and then the studies are sometimes being done by all these consultant firms or something, no? So you can these days because of thanks to Google and a lot of other tools which are available, market data is always available. Sometime the surveys done by Government of India also has those figures and data. So you should try and use the data which is by some recognized agency, and it is always better to add the references of that from where you have picked up this data, so that when you are actually quoting and somebody wants to counter check, you can always add the source of that data on the slide itself. So that brings in a lot of authenticity.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, because if you just write, this is the market size, definitely you will be questioned and people will not believe on your data just like that. So, but there are a lot of agencies which are now having this data, and a lot of research agencies are also there, which are respected by investors also.
Yeah, because why I was asking, like this oil which every individual consume,
Mhm.
they do a study and they give more preference to single liter oils instead of 5 liters and 10 liters. So I don't know, like now how they collect in this particular area, single liter oil sells more. So they give more single liter kind of oil rather than 5 and 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So different agencies, these kind of studies are mainly done from marketing standpoint. What kind of because what is the consumption pattern, and maybe the kind of people who live in that area. Who affordability is another angle, because if their consumption is 2 liter, so they may not buy a 5 liter pack and invest this maybe. But the people who have they don't bother about money aspect, they may pick up 5 liter. I'm sure you are referring to that kind of a thing. So that marketing agencies and all these, but they keep on researching about these datas, and but that has to be a very authentic one, and not based on a small survey or something like that. It should be backed by a proper agency which has done study.
Yeah, yesterday I was in a startup event, and then the startup event, they told if a startup requires 2 crores, they should ask 2 crores 50 lakhs. They should always keep a 6 months buffer, because all startup fail, 95% startup fail because of funding issue. They ask very less. When they go to that stage, they are always looking for investors. So please advise on.
Yeah, see, you should be very clear about your burnout rate, and what all and how fast you can generate revenue, right? So, because if suppose you're in your startup, you are burning say 50 lakh rupees a month, no? So, and you ask only 2.5 CR. So that means you are going to burn this money in say 5 months, right? So again, after 5 months, you will be looking here and there for money, right? So and that will bring the slowness in the implementation, and you may get stuck. And the people who have put in that 2.5 CR also may get wary of your performance, and may be afraid of losing money if you don't get more funds, no? So pipeline has to be taken care. You should always have proper finances, because of financing. This is a fact. A lot of startups fail because they are not able to raise the money at the right time, and that leads to the closure of the startup, or but that is one aspect of it. But if your idea is powerful enough, and you are getting business, and that may drive, and your business model is such that you are burning less money. You are actually not needing that much of working capital. You are working on people giving you advance money for your product because your product is so compelling. Then you may not be in that same situation. So it depends really how your growth is, how compelling is your business, and how much money you are burning. So thank you guys. I think we have a little bit overshot the time, and thanks a lot for joining. I think happy Makar Sankranti. Yesterday was Makar Sankranti. Some people are celebrating today also, and this is a season for festivals. So happy Lodi and to everyone, and we will continue with our quest to share our knowledge about startup world, and we'll contribute back to the business people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
you.
Rajesh.
Thanks. Bye bye.